here with my bro Marc Fendel. He is an accomplished jazz musician, played the saxophone, and I just visited him down at Pike Place Market where he's co-running Sister Sage Herbs. So give us a little plug about the business.
Sure. Yeah, sistersageherbs.com. Come visit us online. We're a small natural remedies company. We have a small farm on Vashon Island, which if you look right over here, that's West Seattle. And on the other side of that is Vashon. So it's about a 25-minute ferry ride over to Vashon. We've been making herbal remedies for 20 years.
Wow.
And we make stuff for sleep, stress.
I like the sleep stuff. I can attest to that. It works.
It's called our Dream On, made with valerian root. And then we have a kind of a little offshoot of our business called Relief Remedies, reliefremedies.com. And we make full spectrum cannabis with arnica for pain and...
Very cool.
And we make a second topical for nerve pain made with St. John's wort.
Very cool.
So yeah, we love what we do. We love working with herbs and herbal medicine, and we sell here at Pike Place Market and online. So come and check us out either in person or online.
Love it. So I will have links down below. But yeah, boy, I've known Marc for, God, over 20 years now. And
oh yeah.
Boy, some of it I can't remember because I was so drunk at these awesome like jazz clubs here in Seattle. But I do remember you tearing it up on the saxophone.
Cheers, so. I appreciate that. Yeah, went to Berklee College of Music many years ago, moved here in the mid-90s, as you know, LR, and you know what's really funny is I'm playing the Owl and Thistle this coming Tuesday on the 20th.
Oh, man.
No, I guess that's a week from Tuesday.
That place is iconic.
And we started playing there many years ago, and it's still the longest running jazz jam session in town.
Very
and
cool.
I kind of stopped playing there, but they continued that session.
You got to go back once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going down there. Anyway, yeah, I've been playing some festivals this summer.
Nice.
And of course, recording at home all the time.
And on top of all that, and this is what kind of rolls into this amazing Sasquatch story, is you do a lot of hiking and mountaineering, right?
I sure do. And that's one really great thing about living here, as you know, and is there's just so much to do here for recreation, hiking. Obviously, we live in water world. Tons of boating and stuff.
And we were just talking, that's how I recharge myself, is getting out in nature and out in the mountains. So
yeah,
you've probably seen some amazing stuff. And
incredible, absolutely incredible. I mean, as you know, I hiked the Pacific Crest Trail in 2012, Mexico to Canada, 2,660 miles. Actually did a bunch of extra miles because I went back and finished the trail from Hart's Pass to the end.
Oh, man.
And then hiked into Canada. And in 2015, I went and hiked another national scenic trail called the Pacific Northwest Trail from western Montana Glacier National Park all the way to the Washington coast. 3 national parks, Glacier, North Cascades, and Olympic. And then it ends on the Washington coast.
Wow.
And then, I just continue to try to do a ton of hiking, a little bit of mountaineering, but mostly backpacking in the backcountry. Awesome. Just spent a couple weeks in Mount Rainier National Park.
Very cool. Man, I'm gonna have to hit that up with you one of these years.
Heck yeah, man, anytime.
But let's review the story. I love this story, and I know you've told it to me once before, but you were pretty close to this guy that had this encounter, right?
Yeah, I actually have two stories, but yeah, my friend, of course, I won't dox his real name, but he goes by Moose. I think that's probably okay.
Trail names, right? That's part of the culture.
Yeah, my trail name is Gourmet because I bring nice food on trail,
Nice.
and I like to share it with people, and that's kind of one of my things, you know.
Nice.
So when you least expect it, you know, I'll bust out like an apple or, you know, like
Nice.
something just. Let this boat go.
Right.
And anyway, but I'll tell Moose's story. We were hiking the Pacific Crest Trail. This is 2012. This is in Washington State. I'll give you, of course, I'm always happy to share the exact location. This is Trout Lake, Washington. And this happened in early September 2012. I was hiking with my friend. We had already hiked a couple thousand miles together on the Pacific Crest Trail.
Couple thousand.
Yeah, a
Wow.
lot. We had been hiking together since like late June, so June, July, August, basically.
And that's
more
where
or less, you know, not hiking together every day, but
Right.
like more or less.
And that's just you're just out in the wilderness, and you're getting like packages with food mailed to checkpoints, right?
Some of that, but you can resupply in towns.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
and actually, if I were to do it again, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably send maybe 1 or 2 packages to myself, because
Okay.
you can resupply along the way. And for anybody who's really interested in that, you'll never know what your body is gonna be wanting. So if you
Right.
make all these packages, you probably will toss them, because you never know what you'll like to eat.
Yeah.
You know, as you go. So it's very easy to resupply as you go. So that's
Okay.
really nice.
Interesting.
But back to the story, about maybe 10 miles or so before Trout Lake. Trout Lake is a very small little town. I mean, really small. There's
Right.
like one grocery store, one place to stay. I mean, it's tiny. Tiny little resupply. My friend was trying to complete I don't think that was his intention to hike 40 miles that day, but he did.
Right.
And I posted up maybe 10 miles before town, because I figured that would be a nice, easy 10 miles in the morning. It was
Right.
pretty flat, and it would go by fast, and I'd have some time in town to resupply and hang out.
Okay.
And so I posted up, and he continued on, and into the night, past 9, 10, and then maybe, I don't know, just like 5, 6 miles or so after where I posted up, he heard some crazy screams in the forest, very guttural.
Wow.
And then some huge knocks, like taking a hollow bat and just whacking it against like a tree. And he heard these things on different sides of him.
Oh, wow.
And this is somebody that I have like a lot of trust in,
Yeah.
and a lot of, and he has spent, you know, years outside. He's never heard anything like that.
Right.
And, you know, no, that's not a bear, that's not a mountain lion, that's not an elk.
No.
And I don't know how many, and it's not wolves.
Right.
I've heard those too. But it was none of those.
Yeah.
And he was super freaked out, obviously. And instead of posting up, he just continued all the way to town and like slept right outside of town.
Wow.
Maybe like less than a mile from town.
Jeez.
And it kind of tapered off and, you know, stopped. And then he was able to like sleep for a few hours, and
But he was like really spooked when you saw him.
really spooked. Yeah,
Wow.
no doubt about it. He was really like, and I think he was a little bit afraid to tell me because he just didn't know what I would say or think or like, you know. And I don't know what there is to say, you know, other than, you know, like I trust that, you know, what you heard is what you heard. And, and he has no reason to make up stories or anything like that.
Out of character, he's a solid guy.
Totally. I mean, we actually hiked the PNT together too afterwards. So I have more than 4,000 miles with this guy, you know.
Wow.
And I trust him with my life. And I have before, actually, like in some situations that were maybe not life-threatening, but certainly sketchy.
Wow.
You know, like trying to get through some things.
Right.
You know, some terrain that was really like kind of terrifying, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe some class 4, class 5 type of mountaineering moves, you know, like and then we had one kind of terrifying moment on the Washington coast, just trying to navigate as the tide was coming in, you know, jumping rocks and like, you know, can't fall in, you know, like can't fall in. And just, you know, so we've had some times where, you know, like you just need to like, you know, take calculated risk, but, you know, relying on each other for safety.
Right.
And so he's somebody that I definitely trust with my life. And yeah, so that's that story. Terrifying, but Trout Lake, Oregon, I know that there's been other, you know, other Bigfoot type of activity in that part of the world. Obviously, we live in the Pacific Northwest.
Hot spot.
This could happen anywhere almost.
Yeah.
And I want to remind people that are listening or watching, you know, that these thin trails, you know, are designed for us. There is so much deep wilderness, especially in Alaska, you know.
Oh man.
There's so much out there. Like you could just, I know you know, like you can see forever of a sea of green that has no way to, you know, travel through that. Really,
right. Yeah.
You know.
No access.
Really. It's just so thick, you know.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like that there's so much room for the unknown.
Yeah.
And I think about it a lot.
Yeah.
And my other story is Pacific Crest Trail 2012, 15 miles north of Hart's Pass on the Pacific Crest Trail.
Right.
And that is where I heard the same screams.
Oh, wow.
I was with another friend of mine who I also have hiked undoubtedly at least 2,000 with, because we hiked a little bit on the Pacific Crest Trail in 2012, and then we hiked, and this was in 2013. This was the next year. So I don't know if I said that wrong, but yeah, this was 2013.
Okay. And how far away from that area is Trout Lake?
Oh, that's quite a ways.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a few hundred miles anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, Trout Lake is south.
Okay.
Southern part of Washington.
Okay.
And then this is almost to Canada.
Wow.
So this is very close. This is about 15 miles from the border of Canada on the Pacific Crest Trail. And we heard these screams, and I mean, we both looked at each other. We acknowledged what we heard together.
Yeah.
Which was great, because if I did not have that partner, it would have been challenging to kind of like, I don't know, to make sure that, you know, you heard what you heard.
Right. What did it sound like?
I mean, super guttural, like this really guttural, but super loud.
Yeah.
Um,
It couldn't be a human making that sound.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Did you feel anything like in your chest? Like we get reports of like almost like a sound vibration or almost a sensation that you feel.
I mean, I was definitely startled and on edge.
Right.
Thankfully, I had 2 people with me.
Yeah.
So that made me feel more calm.
Yep.
If I had been alone, I would have been a lot more terrified.
Yeah.
I definitely felt the reverberation off, because you're kind of in like we were kind of in a bowl almost of mountain on one side, mountain on the other, and steep cliffs, and then we were kind of like on a ridge in the middle with a big drop off on kind of both sides.
Wow.
And a beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah.
I cannot say enough for the hiking around Hart's Pass, because when you drive up there, you're driving to elevation, so you're at 4,000 and change.
Wow.
Just where the car parks.
Right.
So, and then the hike to Canada from Hart's Pass is a lot of ridgetop walking and beautiful views to the Picket Range to the east, which is just trees as far as you can see. I mean, it is deep wilderness up there.
Yeah.
And yeah, we heard these screams. There was probably 3 or 4 of them.
Wow.
And if I had been by myself, I would have booked it. I think I would have like hiked a lot harder.
Yeah.
But you know, I've just felt safe in numbers.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And you know, there's not, unlike Alaska, we don't really have brown bears.
Right.
We don't have the grizz.
Yeah.
Here. I mean, there's maybe a few grizzlies in Washington, but probably less than 10, you know, so they could be anywhere. So that's not really a threat.
Yeah.
There's really not too much of big game that could really like mess with you. Yeah. Other than Bigfoot, you know, like maybe, I don't know.
Right.
Or something else. Whatever it could be. I know you've talked about some other creatures, and but Bigfoot is huge here. I mean,
it's just a culture. Like, people have an understanding that even with like the indigenous cultures and just over the decades, people living out there, that it's just kind of, people understand that something's going on.
Sure. Yeah. And yeah, it's always interesting to hear the stories, you know, and hearing it from different cultures, you know, and that is one of the things that I really appreciate about Sasquatch and Bigfoot, you know, is the stories, and I have my own, of course, and I just feel, I kind of just feel really privileged to have heard something like that and to be part of that.
Yeah, and this is what keeps it alive for me, is just, you know, I mean, you're a close friend of mine, and just, I believe you. I know that, you know, what you're saying is straight up.
Oh yeah.
And you trust your friends, and you heard something, so yeah, something's out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have, obviously, you know me, I have no reason to make up stories. That's for sure.
And we were just talking about, like, now they have like routes that you can take or sign up for, and there's certain areas when you go out there, there's no other humans out there.
Oh yeah.
There's no one except you.
Yeah, exactly. And these are the kind of experiences that, you know, that I really love.
Yeah.
You know, I love being out in deep wilderness.
Absolutely.
And without much other human traffic.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really peaceful, and we don't get a lot of that. I mean, I think a lot of people don't get a lot of that. You know?
Absolutely.
But I think one of the main points is that no matter where you are in your hike, you know, with hiking and navigation, and is that you just make it out there.
Absolutely.
You know? And
recharge the soul.
exactly. Just go outside, you know?
Yeah.
Go outside and hike some trails, you know?
Absolutely.
You don't need to take it that far, you know, to feel rejuvenated and
get your bare feet on the ground.
yeah, absolutely.
Charge that battery.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's crazy because I've been here for so many years and I've hiked so many miles.
Right.
And mountaineering, and I've climbed and skied most all the volcanoes around here. And I still feel like I've just barely scratched the surface of, you know, the possibility of backcountry travel, you know, and
that is so profound because we're in a really intense urban environment. I mean, you were just saying how much Seattle has grown.
yeah,
And it doesn't take much because of the terrain just to get out there.
yeah, it sure doesn't. And yeah, even, you know, you look around, yeah, of course, you know, we're in the port, you can see, you know, the port of Seattle out here, and West Seattle is, you know, original Seattle, that's Duwamish tribe. I mean, it's all Duwamish, but
Right.
around here.
Right.
But you know, just 25 miles out of town,
Yeah.
nothing but a sea of green.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
just go east for a little more than 20 miles, and it's all forest.
That's
you know, so
something.
it doesn't take a lot to get out. You know,
No.
even just getting on the ferry makes me feel good.
Absolutely.
And even after all these years, you know, even going out to our farm,
Yeah.
like it has not, just getting on the ferry boat hasn't lost its charm, you know, of
Right.
living in this beautiful place.
Absolutely.
To me, you know, maybe to other people, but not to me. It still feels just great to be on the water in any capacity.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. There's just like so much to do around here.
Yeah.
The possibilities for recreation are just limitless.
That is awesome. Well, I hope to get in on some of that, and I'm sure we'll be checking in with you some more, but like I said, there's some links down below. Check out Sister Sage Herbs, and man, really thank you for your time and talking to us. I think stories like this are important.
Yeah, Chuke, always great to see you, my friend. It's really nice to have you
And I'll
here
have
in
to
Seattle.
hit up one of these times. I'll align the weekend when you might be playing at the Owl and Thistle too.
Oh, that would be super fun. Yeah, I hope we can make it out and like do some hiking.
Absolutely.
You know, there's like one last thing before we go. I can't remember. There was a documentary about Sasquatch. I think it was called Finding Bigfoot.
Okay, I'm familiar with it a little bit. Yeah.
It was filmed on the Middle Fork Trail.
Wow.
And the Middle Fork of the Snoqualmie River.
Okay.
And I am very, very familiar with that entire trail.
Interesting.
So if you ever want to go out on that trail, like I know it from beginning to end.
Oh my God, we got to now.
Yeah. And it's only like, you know, exit 34 on I-90. It's only a half hour.
Wow.
And it's deep and just a beautiful, beautiful place.
Wow, just big trees, just
Huge
really
trees,
squatchy.
Old growth, lots of big old trees. Most of it's second growth, but there's Goldmeyer Hot Springs is beautiful. Tons of alpine lakes. If you got the legs to hike, you know, out of the valley.
Right.
And some really special places in that valley that I know of that most of the hikers will not go to.
Well, I better start training because I want to check it out.
Me too, brother. We'll do it.
All right.
We'll do it.
Well, thank you again, and I'm sure we'll be checking in with you again.
Right on, anytime.